Good morning, everybody. Why losing your job may be an absolute life-changing gift. Yes, I see it truly as a gift, and I am in an absolutely awesome place today. Now, you can see the highs and lows, and there's times that you're reflecting in life and some of the things that have happened and trauma, and you get down a little bit, but it helps you reflect and kind of then really appreciate the positives. So some things on the weekend made me kind of reflect and reminded me of how, in fact, losing my job at 53, that's right, done, over, retired from the corporate game, the hustle, the bustle, the grind, the matrix, the rat race, whatever you want to call it, it was an absolute godsend in my mind, and hopefully I'm not offending anybody, but that's the way I see it. So here goes. I'm out walking today, and it is cold. First of all, before I get into this conversation, I had a great weekend. I hope all of you had a great weekend too. But today, I'm walking along. I've got this wind blowing against me. My face is probably turning red. It is literally minus 3 degrees Celsius right now, and which would put it probably in the high 20s Fahrenheit, 27, 28, somewhere in that range. It's freezing. I got gloves on. I got a toque, as you can see. And the worst part is I'm walking against the wind right now. But I do this, usually I walk with the wind when I'm vlogging because then you get less wind noise. But today, I've also got a microphone here. So I'm trying to bring a microphone to the conversation because it seems like we always get more wind when the weather turns to winter. It gets windy and cold. And so as I do more vlogs, I hopefully get the microphone involved, and then you can get a little better grasp on kind of what I'm actually saying. Because I know I got some comments about the phone, and it's great when the weather's good, but when there's a breeze, then it sometimes starts to get a little rough. But anyway, how is it truly a gift? How is it a gift that I lost my job at 53? A lot of you are probably often, wondering, where am I coming from? You must have money or this. I don't have a ton of money. I did get into savings early in life. I've always put in a little savings, mutuals, RSPs, put money away. I did have a small accumulated pension through a couple of employers in history. And so a lot of that sort of helps build, plus some savings, plus I do a side hustle so I can, hopefully the idea is defer pulling the pension so I have a larger pension when I actually need it. So that's what the side hustle is about. I could actually draw the pension completely at 55 at a reduced amount. But I've decided I'm probably just going to push it off. So the further you push that out, the less they take off for the value of that pension. And as a result, later in life when I need it, the amount will be a little higher. That's why I'm just sort of doing side hustle. It helps fill in the gaps. It's not a full-time job per se, but I do keep busy with it and it's active. It's a way for me to take my mind off things, a way to stay busy, feel productive, stay engaged. And so I don't fall asleep in a rocking chair because I don't think that's good for health, and that's certainly not good during retirement. But this weekend there's a couple of things that helped me reflect. Really did help me reflect and put things in perspective as how I think retiring, but also losing my job at 53 is an absolute miracle. A miracle from the universe. It is absolutely great, and I can't help but thank those above for it actually happening. Because we went out to a party on the weekend. We went to some friends' place, my friends of my wife's. We went out. We were invited for a Halloween party. So there was music, there was dancing, we dressed up, we had fun. And boy, I knew these people remotely, but I never really knew them. But we had a really good chance to really just BS and get caught up. And boy, did it shed a light on perspective on life in general, and really enjoying life, enjoying family. And having those conversations really brought to light that, I think a lot of people lose sight of how important time is with the family. And when you get in the grind, you do lose that. You do lose that perspective because you're busy, you're chasing the ladder, you're chasing your reports, you've got to deal with the boss, and then you bring in stress home, and then you're talking about what happened at work, and that takes your mind off everything that you should be talking about, which is family and life, and what did your spouse do, what did your kids do, And so it takes away from the things that actually matter. And really, while you're working, even if you're around, you're not half the time you're not around. So it did put that in perspective, and it just accelerated this, fast-tracked it to a point where I'm still, I'm still able-bodied, able-minded, able to have these conversations, enjoy life, go out to these parties, dance, music, fun, and still feel good. Don't feel like that, that 85-year-old guy that just wants to relax and take it easy because my bones are hurting. I'm still able to go out and enjoy. And well, some people say, oh, you're just, you're defaulting and you're going into the zone. No, I on the contrary, I'm living life more than I actually have in a long time. And that's why I think it's truly a gift. It helps you reflect on what you've been missing all these years. And quite often people just sort of, they can retire and they can get into this slump, but that's not the way I'm handling my retirement. I'm handling it. It's an opportunity to build and develop life, relationships with the family, as well, side hustle, and just it's opening a whole new world. I feel like the world's a brighter place today. But there's two things this weekend that really, really hit home for me. One of them, did you hear about Jeremy Clarkson? 64 years old, rushed to the hospital because health issue, his heart, something to do with Jeremy Clarkson's heart. And I've talked about this before, how I'm a big avid car enthusiast. I love cars, I always have. Whether I own a nice car, whether I don't own a nice car, you'll still find me reading books, reading articles, watching YouTube videos, watching old Top Gear reruns. I love cars. I love enthusiast fun cars particularly. And so it was quite a jolt to hear that Jeremy Clarkson, who's 64 years of age, now while he still, it sounds like he got treated, so I don't know what state he's in right now, but it's a stark reminder that some people, it's just when you're least expecting it. He was wound down from the Grand Tour. It's quite ironic because, Top Gear, he kind of ousted from there, and then he got into the Grand Tour through Amazon, and he had his old buddies there, and they created quite a show. And then they did the official final episode, and lo and behold, now he's got health issues. So it's just a stark reminder. Another reminder, oh boy, we got something going on up there. Another reminder, see right there? What's happening? Uh-oh, looks like a fire or something. But another thing, so we went to a funeral on the weekend, and it was close family, friends of my wife's. And what really, really hit home for me there, sitting, in the pews, we're in the church or in the funeral home, and they're going through the whole thing. And I didn't know this individual particularly, but my wife did and knew the family. And he's Portuguese and all of this, as is my family. And they had a small business in the community. But the unfortunate part is not that just that this gentleman passed away, but he was 51 years of age. 51 years of age. He had some kind of, I think, an aneurysm or something up top. And unfortunately, it was very quick and very unexpected. And it's just further reinforced and concreted for me the justification for enjoying life. When I hear these people and they're 68 and I still want to put in 2 or 3 good years, I don't get it. Other than the fact, I get the finances, I get, post-divorce and trying to make, rebuild. I get that aspect. And there are those situations where people really need to and they have no choice. Cost of living is getting out of hand and it's crushing people. So that aspect, I get it. But if you do have enough funds and you've got some savings, and yet you still electively choose to work for some corporate job, even if you think it's not toxic, even if you think you like the people. I personally don't get it, because life is short. 51, 64, you don't know. My wife lost one of her best friends. She passed away at 31 years of age. She fought off multiple different scenarios. They were friends since childhood, and she came down with some serious illnesses. She had some chronic problems, and then some real bad stuff hit her, and she passed away a year after, or just shortly after her baby's first year birthday. And it was just soul crushing to me when people that age just don't make it. And my wife's best friend from many years didn't make it. And so to me, this is a scenario that it just keeps reinforcing why I truly believe getting canned at 53 was a gift, because it helped me refocus on life, refocus on what matters and priorities. And I see these people that are passing away at 51. I see these people that are getting ill in the 60s. I see all this stuff going on, and it's all over the place. And sure, there's lots of people that survive, and there's lots of people that are 80s and 90s. I get it, but it's a roll of the dice. It could be 52, it could be 92. We don't know, and that's the point I'm trying to make. We don't know. And because we don't know, let's think about what life really means to us and what we want to get out of it. How much do we really want to enjoy life, and do we want to spend some quality time? Do we want to just be known as that person that lived to work and not worked to live? Because from my perspective, I was living to work for a while, but then there was a click, an aha moment for me, and that all switched. I started seeing changes at work, in the environment, people started getting ill, family getting sick, and then it all sort of just switched for me. And then I went from that to a position of live to work, or work to live instead. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Please do drop a line what your take is. I truly do believe retirement is something you really need to consider if your finances will allow it. Anyway, hope to see each and every one in the next one. I'm going to try to warm up my hands. It is cold. We'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.